Verses 39 to 87 of the Song of Roland. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Joy Chan. The Song of Roland, Anonymous. Translated by Charles Kenneth Scott Moncrieff. Verses 39 to 87. Fair Master Gauwaines, says then King Marsili, I did you now a little trickery. Making to strike, I showed my great fury. These sable skins take as amends from me. 500 pounds would not their worth redeem. To-morrow night the gift shall ready be. Gauwaine answers him, I'll not refuse it me. May God be pleased to show you his mercy. Then says Marsile, Gauwaines, the truth to ken, minded I am to love you very well. Of Charlemagne I wish to hear you tell. He's very old, his time is nearly spent. 200 years he's lived now, as 'tis said. Through many lands his armies he has led, so many blows his buckled shield has shed, and so rich kings he's brought to beg their bread. What time from war will he draw back instead? And answers Gauwaines, Not so was Charles bred. There is no man that sees and knows him well, but will proclaim the Emperour's hardy head. Praise him as best I may, when all is said, remain untold honour and goodness yet. His great valour, how can it be counted? Him with such grace hath God illumined. Better to die than leave his banneret. The pagan says, You make me marvel sore at Charlemagne, who is so old and hoar. 200 years, they say, he's lived and more. So many lands he's led his armies o'er, so many blows from spears and lances borne, and so rich kings brought down to beg and sorn. When will time come that he draws back from war? Never, says Gauwaines, so long as lives his nephew. No such vassal goes neath the dome of heaven, and proof also is Oliver his henchman. The dozen peers whom Charles holds so precious, these are his guards, with other thousands 20. Charles is secure, he holds no man in terror. Says Sarrazin, My wonder yet is grand at Charlemagne, who hoary is and blanched. 200 years and more, I understand, he has gone forth and conquered many a land. Such blows hath borne from many a trenchant lance, vanquished and slain of kings so rich a band. When will time come that he from war draws back? Never, says Gauwaine, so long as lives Rollands. From hence to the east there is no such vassal, and proof also Oliver his comrade, the dozen peers he cherishes at hand. These are his guard, with 20,000 francs. Charles is secure, he fears no living man. Fair Master Gauwaines, says Marsilis the king, such men are mine, fairer than tongue can sing. Of knights I can 400,000 bring, so I may fight with Franks and with their king. Answers him Gauwaines, Not on this journeying, save of pagans a great loss suffering. Leave you the fools, wise counsel following. To the Emperour such wealth of treasure give, that every Frank at once is marvelling. For 20 men that you shall now send in, to France the Douce he will repair, that king. In the rereward will follow after him both his nephew, Count Roland, as I think, and Oliver, that courteous paladin. Dead are the counts, believe me if you will. Charles will behold his great pride perishing. For battle then he'll have no more the skill. Fair Master Gauwaine, says then King Marsili, show the device how Rollant slain may be. Answers him Gauwaines, That will I soon make clear. The king will cross by the good pass of seas, a guard he'll set behind him in the rear. His nephew there, Count Roland that rich peer, and Oliver, in whom he well believes. 20,000 Franks in their company, 65,000 pagans upon them lead. Franks unawares in battle you shall meet. Bruised and bled white the race of Franks shall be. I do not say, but yours shall also bleed. Battle again deliver and with speed. So, first or last, from Roland you'll be freed. You will have wrought a high chivalrous deed, nor all your life no war again, but peace. Could one achieve that Roland's life was lost, Charles' right arm were from his body torn, though there remained his marvellous great host, he'd not again assemble in such force, Terra Major would languish in repose. Marsile has heard, he's kissed him on the throat, next he begins to undo his treasure store. Said Marsile, but now what more, said they? No faith in words, by oath unbound I lay, swear me the death of Roland on that day. Then answered Guene, so be it as you say. On the relics are in his sword Murgles, treason he's sworn, forsworn his faith away. Was a fold-stool there, made of olifant, a book thereon Marsiles bade them plant. In it their laws, Mahams and Tervagants. He's sworn thereby, the Spanish Sarazand, in the rearward if he shall find Roland, battle to himself and all his band, and verily he'll slay him if he can. And answered Guenes, so be it, as you command. In haste there came a pagan Valdebrun, warden had been to King Marsiliun. Smiling and clear, he said to Guenelun, take now this sword, and better sword has none. Into the hilt 1,000 coins are run. To you, fair sir, I offer it in love. Give us your aid from Rollant the Baron, that in rearward against him we may come. Guenes the count answers, it shall be done. Then, cheek and chin, kissed each the other one. After there came a pagan Climorins, smiling and clear to Guenelun begins. Take now my helm, better is none than this, but give us aid on Rollant the Marquis, by what device we may dishonour bring. It shall be done, Count Guenes answered him, on mouth and cheek then each the other kissed. In haste there came the Queen forth Brimimond. I love you well, sir, said she to the Count, for prize you dear my lord and all around. Here for your wife I have 2 brooches found, amethysts and jacinths in golden mount. More worth are they than all the wealth of Rome. Your Emperour has none such, I'll be bound. He's taken them, and in his hosen pouched. The King now calls Malduiz, that guards his treasure. Tribute for Charles, say, is it now made ready? He answers him, Ay, sire, for here is plenty. Silver and gold on 100 camels 7, and 20 men, the gentlest under heaven. Marsile's arm Guene's shoulder doth enfold. He said to him, you are both wise and bold. Now, by the law that you most sacred hold, let not your heart in our behalf grow cold. Out of my store I'll give you wealth untold, charging 10 mules with fine Arabian gold. I'll do the same for you, new year and old. Take then the keys of this city so large, this great tribute present you first to Charles. Then get me placed Rollands in the rearward. If him I find in valley or in pass, battle I'll give him, that shall be the last. Answers him Guenes, my time is nearly past. His charger mounts, and on his journey starts. That Emperour draws near to his domain. He is come down unto the city Gelnay. The Count Rollanz has broken it and ta'en, 100 years its ruins shall remain. Of Guenelun the king for news is fain, and for tribute from the great land of Spain. At dawn of day, just as the light grows plain, into their camp is come the county Guene. In morning time is risen the Empereur, matins and mass he's heard and made his prayer. On the green grass before the tent his chair, where Rollant stood and that bold Oliver, Neimes the Duke and many others there. Guenes arrived, the felon perjurer, begins to speak with very cunning air. Says to the King, God keep you, sire, I swear. Of Sarraguce the keys to you I bear. Tribute I bring you, very great and rare, and 20 men, look after them with care. Proud Marsiles bade me this word declare, that Alcaliph his uncle you must spare. My own eyes saw 400,000 there, in hauberks dressed, closed helms that gleamed in the air, and golden hilts upon their swords they bear. They followed him, right to the sea they'll fare. Marsile they left, that would their faith forswear, for Christendom they've neither wish nor care. But the 4th league they had not compassed ere brake from the north tempest and storm in the air. Then were they drowned, they will no more appear. Were he alive, I should have brought him here. The pagan king in truth, sire, bids you hear. Ere you have seen 1 month pass of this year, he'll follow you to France, to your empire. He will accept the laws you hold and fear. Joining his hands will do you homage there. Kingdom of Spain will hold as you declare. Then says the king, Now God be praised, I swear. Well have you wrought, and rich reward shall wear. Bids through the host 1,000 trumpets blare. Franks leave their lines, the sumpter beasts are yare. Towards France the Douce all on their way repair. Charles the Great that land of Spain had wasted, her castles ta'en, her cities violated. Then said the king, his war was now abated. Towards Douce France that emperour has hasted. Upon a lance Roland his ensign raised. High on a cliff against the skies was placed. The Franks in camp through all that country baited. Canted pagans through those wide valleys raced. Hauberks they wore, and sarks with iron plated. Swords to their sides were girt, their helms were laced. Lances made sharp, as scutcheons newly painted. There in the mists beyond the peaks remained. The day of doom for 100,000 waited. God, what a grief! Franks know not what is fated. Passes the day, the darkness is grown deep. That Emperour, rich Charles, lies asleep. Dreams that he stands in the great pass of seas. In his 2 hands his ashen spear he sees. Guenes the count that spear from him doth seize, brandishes it and twists it with such ease, that flown into the sky the flinders seem. Charles sleeps on, nor wakens from his dream. And after this another vision saw, in France at Aix, in his chapelle once more, that his right arm an evil bear did gnaw. Out of Ardennes he saw a leopard stalk, his body dear did savagely assault. But then there dashed a harrier from the hall, leaping in the air he sped to Charles' call. First the right ear of that grim bear he caught, and furiously the leopard next he fought. Of battle great the Franks then seemed to talk, yet which might win they knew not in his thought. Charles sleeps on, nor wakens he for aught. Passes the night and opens the clear day. That Emperour canters in brave array, looks through the host often and every way. "My lords barons," at length doth Charles say, "Ye see the pass along these valleys straight. Judge for me now, who shall in rearward wait?" "There's my good son Rollanz," then answers Guenes, "You've no baron whose valour is as great." When the king hears, he looks upon him straight, and says to him: "You devil incarnate, into your heart is come a mortal hate, and who shall go before me in the gate?" "Ogier is here, of Denmark," answers Guenes, "You've no baron were better in that place." The Count Rollanz hath heard himself decreed, speaks then to Guenes by rule of courtesy: "Good father, sir, I ought to hold you dear, since the rereward you have for me decreed. Charles the King will never lose by me, as I know well, nor charger nor palfrey, jennet nor mule that canter can with speed, nor sumpter horse will lose, nor any steed, but my sword's point shall first exact their meed." Answers him Guenes: "I know, 'tis true indeed." When Rollant heard that he should be rerewarden, furiously he spoke to his good father: "Aha, culvert, begotten of a bastard! Thinkest the glove will slip from me hereafter, as then from thee the wand fell before Charles?" "Right Emperour," says the baron Rollanz, Give me the bow you carry in your hand. Ne'er in reproach I know will any man say that it fell and lay upon the land, as Guenes let fall when he received the wand. That Emperour with lowered front doth stand, he tugs his beard, his chin is in his hand. Tears fill his eyes, he cannot them command. And after that is come Duke Neimes firth, better vassal there was not upon earth. Says to the king: "Right well now have you heard The Count Roland's to bitter wrath is stirred, For that on him the rereward is conferred. No baron else have you would do that work. Give him the bow your hands have bent, at first; Then find him men, his company are worth." Gives it the king, and Rollant bears it firth. That Emperour Rollanz then calleth he: "Fair nephew mine, know this in verity, Half of my host I leave you presently. Retain you them, your safeguard this shall be." Then says the count: "I will not have them me. Confound me God, if I fail in the deed. Good valiant Franks 1,000 score I'll keep. Go through the pass in all security. While I'm alive there's no man you need fear." The Count Rollanz has mounted his charger, beside him came his comrade Oliver, also Gerin and the proud Count Gerier, and Otes came, and also Berengier, old Ancay, and Sansun too came there, Gerard also of Roncillon the fierce, and there is come the Gascon Gilier. "Now by my head I'll go," the Archbishop swears. "And I'm with you," says the Count Gaultier. "I'm Rollant's man, I may not leave him there." 1,000 score they choose of chevalier. Gualter del Hum he calls, that Count Rollanz: 1,000 Franks take out of France our land, Dispose them so among ravines and crags, That the Emperour lose not a single man. Gualter replies: "I'll do as you command." 1,000 Franks come out of France their land, At Gualter's word they scour ravines and crags. They'll not come down, howe'er the news be bad, Ere from their sheaths swords 700 flash. King Almarie Belcerne for kingdom had, On the evil day he met them in combat. High are the peaks, the valleys shadowful, Swarthy the rocks, the narrows wonderful. Franks passed that day all very sorrowful. 15 leagues round the rumour of them grew. When they were come and Terra Major knew, Saw Gascony their land and their seigneurs, Remembering their fiefs and their honours, Their little maids, their gentle wives and true. There was not one that shed not tears for rue. Beyond the rest Charles was of anguish full. In Spanish pass he'd left his dear nephew. Pity him seized, he could but weep for rue. The dozen peers are left behind in Spain. Franks in their band 1,000 score remain. No fear have these, death hold they in disdain. That Emperour goes into France apace. Under his cloak he fain would hide his face. Up to his side comes cantering Duke Neimes, Says to the king: "What grief upon you weighs?" Charles answers him: "He's wrong that question makes. So great my grief I cannot but complain. France is destroyed by the device of Guene. This night I saw, by an angel's vision plain, Between my hands he brake my spear in twain. Great fear I have, since Rollant must remain. I've left him there upon a border strange. God, if he's lost, I'll not outlive that shame." Charles the Great, he cannot but deplore, And with him Franks 100,000 mourn, Who for Rollanz have marvellous remorse. The felon Guenes had treacherously wrought, From pagan kin has had his rich reward, Silver and gold, and veils and silken cloths, Camels, lions, with many a mule and horse. Barons from Spain King Marsilies hath called, Counts and viscounts, and dukes and almacours, And the admirals and cadets nobly born. Within 3 days come hundreds thousands for. In Sarraguce they sound the drums of war. Mahum they raise upon their highest tow'r. Pagan is none that does not him adore. They canter then with great contention through certain land, valleys and mountains on, till of the Franks they see the gonfalons, being in rearward those dozen companions. They will not fail battle to do anon. Marsile's nephew is come before the bound, riding a mule, he goads it with a wand. Smiling and clear, his uncle's ear demands: "Fair lord and king, since, in your service glad, I have endured sorrow and sufferance, have fought in field, and victories have had, give me a fee, the right to smite Rollanz. I'll slay him clean with my good trenchant lance, if Mahumet will be my sure warrant. Spain I'll set free, deliver all her land, from Pass of Asper even unto Durestant. Charles will grow faint and recreant the Franks. There'll be no war while you're a living man." Marsilie gives the glove into his hand. Marsile's nephew, holding in hand the glove, his uncle calls, with reason proud enough: "Fair lord and king, great gift from you I've won. Choose now for me 11 more barons, so I may fight those dozen companions." First before all there answers Falfarun, brother he was to King Marsiliun: "Fair sir nephew, go you and I at once, then verily this battle shall be done. The rearward of the great host of Carlun It is decreed we deal them now their doom." King Corsablis is come from the other part, barbarian and steeped in evil art. He's spoken then as fits a good vassal, for all God's gold he would not seem coward. Hastes into view Malprimis of Brigal, faster than a horse upon his feet he can dart. Before Marsile he cries with all his heart: "My body I will shew at Rencesvals. Find I Rollanz, I'll slay him without fault." An admiral is there of Balaguet, clear face and proud, and body nobly bred. Since first he was upon his horse mounted, his arms to bear has shown great lustihead. In vassalage he is well famoused, Christian were he, he'd shown good baronhead. Before Marsile aloud has he shouted: "To Rencesvals my body shall be led. Find I Rollanz, then is he surely dead, And Oliver and all the other 12. Franks shall be slain in grief and wretchedness. Charles the Great is old now and doted, weary will be, and make no more war again. Spain shall be ours in peace and quietness." King Marsilies has heard, and thanks him well. An Almacour is there of Moriane, more felon none in all the land of Spain. Before Marsile his vaunting boast hath made: "To Rencesvals my company I'll take, 1,000 score, with shields and lances brave. Find I Rollanz, with death I'll him acquaint. Day shall not dawn but Charles will make his plaint." From the other part, Turgis of Turtelose, he was a count, that city was his own. Christians he would them massacre every one. Before Marsile among the rest is gone, says to the king: "Let not dismay be shown. Mahum's more worth than Saint Peter of Rome. Serve we him well, then fame in field we'll own. To Rencesvals to meet Rollanz I'll go, from death he'll find his warranty in none. See here my sword that is both good and long, with Durendal I'll lay it well across. You'll hear betimes to which the prize is gone. Franks shall be slain, whom we descend upon. Charles the old will suffer grief and wrong. No more on earth his crown will he put on." From the other part, Escrimez of Valtren, a Sarrazin, that land was his as well. Before Marsile he cries amid the press: "To Rencesvals I'll go, pride to make less. Find I Rollanz, who'll not bear thence his head, Nor Oliver, that hath the others led. The dozen peers condemned are to death. Franks shall be slain, and France lie deserted. Of good vassals will Charles be richly bled." From the other part, a pagan Esturgans, Estramariz also, was his comrade. Felons were these, and traitors miscreant. Then said Marsile: "My lords before me stand. Into the pass you'll go to Roncesvalles. Give me your aid, and thither lead my band." They answer him: "Sire, even as you command. We will assault Olivier and Roland. The dozen peers from death have no warrant. For these our swords are trusty and trenchant. In scalding blood will dye their blades scarlat. Franks shall be slain, and Charles be right sad. Terra Major will give into your hand. Come there, Sir King, truly you'll see all that. Yea, the Emperour will give into your hand." Running there came Margarise of Sibile, who holds the land by Cadiz to the sea. For his beauty the ladies hold him dear. Who looks on him, with him her heart is pleased. When she beholds, she can but smile for glee. Was no pagan of such high chivalry. "Come through the press, above them all," cries he. "Be not at all dismayed, King Marsilie. To Roncesvalles I'll go, and Rollanz he, Nor Oliver may escape alive from me. The dozen peers are doomed to martyry. See here the sword, whose hilt is gold indeed, I got in gift from the Admiral of Primes. In scarlet blood I pledge it shall be steeped. Franks shall be slain, and France abased be. To Charles the old, with his great blossoming beard, Day shall not dawn but brings him rage and grief. Ere a year pass, all France we shall have seized, Till we can lie in the burg of Saint Denis." The pagan king has bowed his head down deep. From the other part, Chemubles of Muneigre, right to the ground, his hair swept either way. He for a jest would bear a heavier weight Than 4 yoked mules beneath their load that strain. That land he had, God's curse on it was plain. No sun shone there, nor grew there any grain. No dew fell there, nor any shower of rain. The very stones were black upon that plain, And many say that devils there remain. Says Chemubles: "My sword is in its place, At Roncesvalles scarlet I will it stain. Find I Rollanz the proud upon my way, I'll fall on him, or trust me not again. At Durendal I'll conquer with this blade. Franks shall be slain, and France a desert made." The dozen peers are at this word away. 50,000 of Sarrazins they take, Who keenly press, and on to battle haste. In a fir wood their gear they ready make. Ready they make hauberks Sarrazinese, That folded are, the greater part, in 3. And they lace on good helms Sarragusese, Gird on their swords of tried steel Viennese. Fine shields they have, and spears Valentinese, And white, blue, red, their ensigns take the breeze. They've left their mules behind in their palfreys. Their chargers mount, and canter knee by knee. Fair shines the sun, the day is bright and clear. Light bums again from all their polished gear. 1,000 horns they sound, more proud to seem. Great is the noise, the Franks its echo hear. Says Oliver: "Companion, I believe Sarrazins now in battle must we meet." Answers Rollanz: "God grant us then the fee. For our King's sake well must we quit us here. Man for his lord should suffer great disease, Most bitter cold endure, and burning heat. His hair and skin should offer up at need. Now must we each lay on most hardily, So evil songs near sung of us shall be. Pagans are wrong, Christians are right indeed. Evil example will never come of me." Oliver mounts upon a lofty peak, Looks to his right along the valley green. The pagan tribes approaching there appear. He calls Rollanz his companion to see. "What sound is this come out of Spain we hear? What hauberks bright, what helmets these that gleam? They'll smite our Franks with fury past belief. He knew it, Guenes, the traitor and the thief, Who chose us out before the King our chief." Answers the count Rollanz: "Olivier, cease. That man is my good father, hold thy peace." Upon a peak is Oliver mounted, Kingdom of Spain he sees before him spread, And Sarrazins so many gathered. Their helmets gleam, with gala jewelled, also their shields, their hauberks all freed, also their swords, on signs on spears fixed. Rank beyond rank could not be numbered, so many there, no measure could he set. In his own heart he saw astonished. Fast as he could, down from the peak hath sped, comes to the Franks, to them his tale hath said. Says Oliver, pagans from there I saw, never on earth did any man see more. Gainst us their shields 100,000 bore, that laced helms and shining hauberks wore, and, bolt upright, their bright brown spearheads shone. Battle we'll have as never was before. Lords of the Franks, God keep you in valour, so hold your ground, we be not overborne. Then say the Franks, shame take him that goes off, if we must die, then perish one and all. Says Oliver, pagans in force abound, while of us Franks but very few I count. Comrade Rolands, your horn I pray you sound, if Charles hear, he'll turn his armies round. Answers Rolands, a fool I should be found, in France the Douce would perish my renown. With Durendal I'll lay on thick and stout, in blood the blade to its golden hilt I'll drown. Felon pagans to the pass shall not come down, I pledge you now, to death they all are bound. Comrade Roland, sound the olifant, I pray. If Charles hear, the host will turn again, will succour us our king and baronage. Answers Rollands, never, by God, I say, for my misdeed shall kinsmen hear the blame, nor France nor Douce fall into evil fame. Rather stout blows with Durendal I'll lay, with my good sword that by my side doth sway, till bloodied o'er you shall behold the blade. Felon pagans are gathered to their shame, I pledge you now, to death they're doomed today. Comrade Rollands, once sound your olifant. If Charles hear, where in the pass he stands, I pledge you now they'll turn again, the Franks. Never, by God, then answers him Rollands, shall it be said by any living man, that for pagans I took my horn in hand. Never by me shall men reproach my clan, when I am come into the battle grand, and blows lay on, by hundred, by thousand, of Durendal bloodied, you'll see the brand. Franks are good men, like vassals brave they'll stand. Nay, Spanish men from death have no warrant. Says Oliver, in this I see no blame. I have beheld the Sarrazins of Spain, covered with them the mountains and the vales, the wastes I saw, and all the farthest plains. A muster great they've made, this people strange. We have of men a very little tale. Answers Rollands, my anger is inflamed. Never, please God his angels and his saints, never by me shall Frankish valour fail. Rather I'll die than shame shall me attain. Therefore strike on, the Emperor's love to gain. Pride hath Rollands, wisdom Olivier hath, and both of them show marvellous courage. Once they are horsed, once they have donned their arms, rather they die than from the battle pass. Good are the counts, and lofty their language. Felon pagans come cantering in their wrath. Says Oliver, behold and see, Rollands, these are right near, but Charles is very far. On the olifant deign now to sound a blast. Were the king here, we should not fear damage. Only look up towards the pass of Aspre. In sorrow there you'll see the whole rearward. Who does this deed does no more afterward. Answers Rollands, utter not such outrage. Evil his heart that is in thought coward. We shall remain firm in our place installed. From us the blows shall come, from us the assault. End of verses 39 to 87.